Hello and welcome to Dropkick Chronicles, episode 3, where I am your man EH3 and I am the sole proprietor of this here thing, this shindig. Anyway, today we'll be talking about CM Punk, his AEW debut, his pro wrestling return, by the way. We'll also be talking about some SummerSlam big moments, right? So this is WWE and AEW. So first and foremost, we'll be talking about CM Punk's AEW debut. Yes. So man, it was so great. CM Punk returned to pro wrestling, but debuted in AEW in the middle of Chicago at the United Center. Now, this is AEW Rampage, the first dance. So mind you, CM Punk is one of the greatest wrestling figures of all time. And I'm telling you, the man is so great that myself, I'm like, wow, the moment at AEW Rampage, the first dance, almost made me cry because you have CM Punk, right? He is, the top of the top, the best. He's the best in the world. He is, a wrestling revolutionary, I might add. He shocked the world with his infamous pipe bomb in 2011. He's a former WWE champ, former world champ, former ROH champion. He's wrestled all over the world. So to come back to something that he once loved, and it is so surreal to see him. It means a lot, to have someone who has changed his business come back once and for all to make more impact. It's like, dang, this dude is like the greatest of all time. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's the best in the world, a cult of personality, if you will. So during his AEW debut, he talked about WWE and ROH. So he says, I left pro wrestling in 2005 when I joined WWE, because WWE, mind you, is sports entertainment. WWE is not pro wrestling. Matter of fact, they don't even like the term professional wrestling. You know what I'm saying? They punish people for actually liking professional wrestling. To take, a page in CM Punk's book. It's crazy that he came back and he talked about that. He was like, why would I stay in the same place that made me sick in the first place? Now, he was talking about WWE. He was talking about WWE, because WWE is pro wrestling. It is not a natural, it's not pro wrestling. So it's not like a natural, thing. You know what I'm saying? Not to tell you not to like WWE. WWE is good, but it's something that he had to he had to leave. He had to go in order for people to miss him. One, number two, he had to go because he didn't want to stay in the same. Basically, what like I just got you saying, he didn't want to stay in the same place that got him sick or made him sick in the first place. You know what I'm saying? He loves wrestling, but it's like, when it becomes a job, it's not, it's not necessarily that thing that's so rich and so great. You know what I'm saying? It becomes a job. It's not really like, what is the use, So pretty much all I have to say is CM Punk is one of the greatest of all time. I nearly cried when he returned last Friday at Rampage, the first dance, and oh my God, the crowd was so natural. I had it's been a long time since I've heard like natural just cheers, natural pops. It's a natural crowd pop. It's been a long time since I've heard that. There's no greater like moment. You know what I'm saying? There's no greater moment than having to watch pro wrestling and having to, enjoy it. Ooh, that literally sends chills down my spine simply because I'm like, wow, it's been so long since we've heard cult of personality. Man, it's been so long since we heard that at a wrestling event. Oh my God. I mean, I listened to the song myself. It's so great. It's by one of the greatest black rock bands of all time, Living Color. So for him to be this great wrestling figure, right? Him coming out of Chicago, Illinois, coming from nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, CM Punk is just so great, man. He cuts great promos. He's good on the microphone in the ring. Nobody can touch him. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can touch CM Punk. There is no, like, when I talk about CM Punk, I get kind of like so excited. You know what I'm saying? Because CM Punk is like the greatest. And it's like, ooh, dang, man, damn. Like, he's so great that he came back to to pro wrestling. He came to AEW to challenge Darby Allin. Now, his first match back in wrestling will be September 5th, if I'm not mistaken. That's in I think the pay-per-view they call All In. This gonna be great. It's gonna be him. It's gonna be CM Punk versus Darby Allin. It's gonna be great to see CM Punk wrestle again. Oh my God! And when he wrestles, it is a treat. Do not skip that match. I'm telling you, do not skip that match to watch anything else, because I'm telling you, that match is like, okay, ooh, it's a comeback. You know what I'm saying? But I don't call it a comeback. Just like the LL Cool J song says, I don't call it a comeback. But like I said, man, like it's so great when you look at it, and when you have a great guy like that, you know what I'm saying, who changed the face of wrestling forever. And then he left. He let people, sometimes you got to leave something you love, sometimes you got to let people miss you. But man, did we miss him? Oh my God. Talking about CM Punk, being a wrestling revolutionary, it does give me goosebumps. Another thing I want to talk about that I think he was talking about Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. He said he said there was going to be another debut coming, kind of like, so to speak, like he gave like code for it. Like, I think he talked about Bray Wyatt. He also talked about Bryan Danielson. He talked about those two. So pretty much I feel like this is going to be great. If you're not a fan of wrestling, I'm enlisting you to become one, because AEW will change your mind. A lot of people left wrestling, and I covered this in episode 2. A lot of people left wrestling simply because it's like it's so bland. It's so, they say some people left wrestling because it's quote unquote fake. I'm like, well, there goes the rule of kayfabe out of the door, out the window. You know what I'm saying? But no. It's not like that. It's a spectacle. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you watch your favorite football team win a game, it's a spectacle. Just like when you watch the Super Bowl, spectacle. The World Series, spectacle. The Stanley Cup, spectacle. I go on and on. WrestleMania, spectacle. You know what I'm saying? But when you watch wrestling, it's great, because it's like you get to see moments like this. Moments like CM Punk returning, moments like Brock Lesnar's returning. Oh my God. I lost my whole mind when that man returned to SummerSlam. You know what's crazy? He was just cutting meat at a butcher shop not too long ago. And then they had gave a report he might return to SummerSlam or return to WWE altogether. I'm like, wow, like what is going on, man? This is the thing. I love it when um superstars return, and they've been gone for so long. And I'm gonna cover like I said, I'm gonna cover SummerSlam big moments. One of the big moments was Brock Lesnar's return. But one of the big moments was also Becky Lynch's return. Two big returns, people. Two big returns. Becky Lynch returned and she won the women's title. Ooh. Now, let's talk about it. All right. Let's talk about it. This is something that I'm like, wow, like they put her in the match last minute. It was like a last minute thing, and when you write wrestling, you have to write it like to a T. You have to write it for ratings. You have to write wrestling for moments and stuff. And it's like, they placed the title on her pretty quickly. I don't know why they did Bianca Belair like they did Kofi Kingston 2 years ago, but I'm like, why would you take the title off of her that quick? You could have had Becky Lynch return better than that. Like, that's not saying that, I didn't like her return. I was stoked about it. That makes SmackDown all the more better show, that she's returning in this, this juncture in her career after she's had a child. She went away to have a baby. That's why she had to relinquish the Raw Women's Championship last year after WrestleMania 36. So here's the thing. My thing is, you could have had her return in a different fashion. Like, you could have had her return, beat up Bianca Belair and hold the title in the air. Then, and go backstage. Like, you could have done it like that. But, I guess, Sasha Banks couldn't be at SummerSlam on Saturday. I guess it was due to some plane issues, or she wasn't in town, or because they say she wasn't in some part of Nevada. She wasn't in town for the pay-per-view. So I'm like, why? But okay, you sent the replacement, right? Cool. You sent the secondary talent to face Bianca Belair. You could have had Bianca Belair beat her, then had Becky Lynch come out there. But I guess, they had to do it different because that's how the Brock Lesnar scenario went after Roman Reigns beat John Cena to retain the Universal Heavyweight Championship. Being that Roman Reigns is the head of the table and the tribal chief, I acknowledge him wholeheartedly. Anyway, but you could have done it like that. But they placed the SmackDown Women's Championship on Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was, it was impromptu championship match, and I'm like, wow, way to plan, people. Way to write. Way to plan stuff out. Here's the thing. Wrestling can be sometimes. I know why a lot of people left and stopped watching, but sometimes it can be kind of bland. It can be kind of you can leave a bad taste in your mouth sometimes. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Now I do need for WWE to hire better writers. I want them to hire better writers than what they've been doing, because it's not pretty much like, I don't like it. Like, why would you, sometimes they write stuff and I'd be like, okay, this is just for Raw. Sometimes, because SmackDown is good. SmackDown is good. Not saying SmackDown is the perfect brand, but SmackDown is great. You know what I'm saying? But Raw needs to be way better than it's being right now. Way better than it is. And it needs to be better. Moving on. I want to talk about another match at SummerSlam. Damien Priest versus Sheamus. This is for the United States Championship. So Damien Priest defeated Sheamus. He defeated Sheamus. Which I'm like, that's good. Here's the thing, people. He defeated Sheamus, and so if you know Damien Priest, he was North American. He was NXT North American champion. So wow, for him to win the United States Championship, it didn't shock me. I was happy for him, because I'm like, for a person like myself who does not watch Raw, I did watch that match, and I was like, I kind of want to see my guy win his first championship in WWE main, like on the main roster. So, I was pretty stoked about it. I was like, cool, he got the win. That's good. You know what I'm saying? I hope that he holds on to it for quite some time. Not making any promises, what they're going to do with him. But anyway, if you saw Raw Monday, I didn't really watch all of Raw. I only watched that moment. I caught it right at that moment. Drew McIntyre and Damien Priest were in a tag team match against Sheamus and the WWE champion Bobby Lashley. Now, I like it because I'm like, okay. So Drew McIntyre hits Sheamus with a Claymore, wins the tag team match. Damian Priest is outside of the ring and has his eyes laser focused on Bobby Lashley, the almighty WWE champion, Bobby Lashley. He's focused, people. I'm talking about he is focused. I'm like, ooh, hold up. They can really strike something here. So I'm just going to make a prediction, or I'm just going to make like a little fantasy type thing. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. I'm presuming that they will write Damien Priest into facing Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship while still being the U.S. champion himself. If that happens, and ooh, man, if that happens, I'm gonna lose it. I'm like, yes, but I'm gonna lose it in a good way, and it's gonna be joy because I'm like, okay, good. They're giving this man, they really pushing him. That's when you win one championship and then you another one. Ooh, hold up, they could strike. They could do good on this one. They could do good on this one, man. Anyway, moving on, I am going to also talk about what am I saying? I'm going to talk about the Raw Tag Team Championships. Yes. Anyway, the Raw Tag Team Championships. So, it was a match. It was set up pitting AJ Styles and Omos versus Randy Orton and Riddle. RK Bro. Which RK Bro is the most oddest tag team you could ever put together. You got Randy Orton, who was the Viper, the Apex Predator. You got the Stallion, the King of Bros, Riddle. And I'm like, okay, dang. Wow, this is a pretty odd pairing, but they got jobs done. They got the job done. So they defeated AJ Styles and Omos to win together their first Raw Tag Team Championship ever. Like, so that is something. Wow. That's good to change hands like that, and then it's an odd couple like Randy Orton and Riddle to win the tag team championships. You need odd couples have won the tag team championships. You got Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane. That was odd. Wow, I remember that time. It was a whole fiasco where they had like a session. They would go to like angle management, and like Kane would be up in there. Kane once literally lit something on fire in a trash can in anger management. I was like, what? Dr. Shelby, I remember Dr. Shelby. Those segments was funny. And so I remember them, kind of like saying like, ooh, it's like, well, dang, odd couple and they're champs. So here we go again. We got RK Bro. They odd, but they champions. They get the job done. You have the mind game, the psychological warfare of Randy Orton, and you got the kid himself, you know what I'm saying, the king of bros, bro, uh, Riddle. And I'm like, wow, okay. So that was pretty good to watch. Another match that saw a new champion was the Raw Women's Championship, triple threat match. Yeah, for the Raw Women's Championship. So it was Nikki ASH, um, who came in as champ. You also have Rhea Ripley, and you have the Queen, Charlotte Flair, who is one of the greatest women to ever wrestle today. Not saying those other two ladies don't deserve that accolade, but the Queen, Charlotte Flair, she really showed up and showed out. She won the Raw Women's Championship, winning her 12th women's title. Like, I can't even count on hand how many that is. Like, I got 10, but I have to put 2 more. But man, let me tell you, Charlotte Flair has really made a name for herself. Being that they don't call her, oh, that's Ric Flair's daughter. That's just no, they just be like, oh, that's Charlotte Flair. You know what I'm saying? That's the queen. And but yeah, here's the thing. To win like today, she's the most decorated women's champion in WWE. That's big. When you can win 12 women's championships and knowing that all the other women have either won 6 or 7. Legendary women like Trish Stratus, Lita, one of the first women's champions in WWE. The what is it? No, Fabulous Moolah. You had Wendy Richter. You also had great women's champions like and this crazy. You got Stephanie McMahon, who's won a women's championship herself. You got like I said, Lita, Trish Stratus, Mickie James. Shout out to Mickie James. He is a legend. You got so many women. I can name a whole lot. I can name Nikki Bella, who's a former Divas champion herself. That's the title that they brought in in 2008 or 9. So yeah, pretty much, man, to be 12-time women's champ, that's big. Even if it's like in today's times, like you'll never have any other woman that can win all them championships. But let's see. I'm pitting her to break and have she got like 4 more championships to win to tie her father, Ric Flair. She's probably gonna break his record and win 17. I want it to happen. I'm like, I don't know about everybody else. I actually want it to happen. You live up to your name, you live up to your legacy, and live up to who you are. I want it to happen. So, all right, moving on. I want to talk a little bit about why I think that this is one of the best wrestling weekends of all time. So, first you have go all the way back to last week. You have before SummerSlam, you have Monday Night Raw. So you have last Monday, not this past Monday, but the Monday before that. So you also have NXT to get ready for TakeOver 36. Man, that's so crazy. They're gonna change NXT, by the way. NXT is going through a rebirth, I want to say. So yeah. Hope they don't change too much of it. I hope they build stars like they're supposed to. Hope they, look to secondary talent when all of today's, or past stars have gone on to do more great things. But also, you have after NXT, you have AEW Dynamite. Which that was crazy, man. That's crazy. Then you got AEW Rampage, the first dance. And you got Friday Night SmackDown all in one night. I'm like, wow, hold up. Whoa. Wrestling is going crazy, man. I'm probably forgetting about a couple more promotions like New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't know really too much about them. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around them. You know what I'm saying? I do know about Impact, but I'm not going to get into Impact. It used to be called Total Nonstop Action, TNA. But getting back to what I was saying, you had AEW Rampage, the first dance, and Friday Night SmackDown all in one night, man. That's when you got two big programs on at the same damn time. Man, it's like you wondering, like, okay, do I flip channel? Do I watch this or do I watch that? Me, I'm a watch both type guy. Like I was watching SmackDown and I was watching AEW Rampage, the first dance. Yes, I was. I do not sit up here and doing what they was doing way back in the Attitude Era when it was like the Monday Night Wars. It was like a civil war in the wrestling world, if you will. Some people for WWE, and then some people were for WCW. It's like, well, dang, who do I go for? Who do I follow? What do I do? You know what I'm saying? What is the next thing? You know what I'm saying? What is the next big thing? But for me, wrestling has always been like, okay, they're so great. Why don't I just watch both? You know what I'm saying? Why don't I just not be, in a battle? If you will, like, it's so crazy. Like, dang, can I please be like, partial to it? Not, non-biased to it, but as I was saying, you have two programs on at the same time. It's like, it's like a dilemma. Like who do I watch? You know what I'm saying? Like who do I watch? Do I watch AEW? Do I watch WWE? Do I watch Impact? Do I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling? Do I watch ROH? Do I watch all the independent wrestling promotions? Or I'm like, man, look, it's a program, okay? All right. It's entertaining. No matter if it's sports entertainment or pro wrestling, it's still entertaining. Because when you have so much great talent out there, man, and I just watched Christian Cage not too long ago win his third Impact World Heavyweight Championship. Wow, I'm shocked. I'm like, wow, he hadn't won an Impact World title in so long. And Christian is a very decorated wrestler as well. He's a former WWE Tag Champ, Intercontinental Champ. I think he was a former ECW champion, former European champion. I think it was Hardcore as well. Former Impact World Champ, former World Heavyweight Champion in WWE, former 2-time World Champ. So yeah, man, he's very, very decorated. Highly decorated superstar. So, man, yeah. Ooh. But after that, after Friday, which was great, by the way, laid host to one of the greatest moments in wrestling history, CM Punk's debut in AEW and his return to pro wrestling, as I covered at the beginning. So pretty much I loved SummerSlam. It was one of the best, and this was on Saturday. SummerSlam was one of the best SummerSlams in a long time. Wow. It was one of the best SummerSlams in a long time. And I'm like, ooh, hold up, man. SummerSlam is so good when it gets you and it hooks you in. When wrestling hooks you in and you're hooked, it's hard to escape being a fan. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's hard to escape being a fan. Been a fan all my life. and I'm not gonna stop being a fan till the day I'm gone. But I'm just saying, man, let me tell you, it was the crowd was the crowd was so rich, and it was so great. You know what I'm saying? The night was just so magical, if you will. Like it was some type of like crazy like it's like, ooh, dang, SummerSlam is so good, man. It's at Allegiant Stadium. They got over 50,000 people in there screaming, yelling, cheering, booing, you know what I'm saying, chanting, calling people names, saying holy ish. You know what I'm saying? At every oh my God moment. And I'm telling you, I was at the edge of my seat, you know, watching SummerSlam, watching its great moments. You know, seeing people return who they said were going to return, but they kept it under wraps, which was good. When you got people returning to wrestling, you don't want to really reveal too much. You want to, you want to like reveal little by little. You don't want to reveal too much. So it's like, what's the next move? You know what I'm saying? What's the next thing that is going to happen at a great event like SummerSlam? You know, SummerSlam is, like I said again, time and time again, I covered this in episode 1. SummerSlam is WrestleMania Junior. And seeing over 50,000 people at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas really made it all the more of that. Because, man, when you think about it, WWE has put SummerSlam in the stadium. They put Royal Rumble in a baseball park, and a baseball stadium, and they've put WrestleMania. Of course, WrestleMania has been big for a long time now. So, yeah, to see WWE's main events like that, main venues and pay-per-views like that be so great and successful. Like WWE has made more money than they've ever made. Like they made more money than they made in 2019 before COVID. I was like, and then during COVID, they was still making money. They was making money doing merchandise sales. They was making money doing the programs they was holding in the award. They called the award-winning Thunderdome. And they were making money, man. And I'm like, ooh, they ain't gonna ever stop. Something can happen, some crazy can happen, and they ain't gonna never stop. The stock market is still thriving in the stock market. They still making money in merchandise sales, pay-per-view sales, and everything. Ooh, man, they made more money than they ever made in so long. Like it's, so when people say, I heard somebody say this and I got kind of offended. I was like, well, no, WWE is not gonna go out of business. No time soon. If you think WWE is going out of business, something's wrong with you. But no, WWE is not gonna go out of business. Here's why. Vince McMahon is a genius, and when you have a genius running a company and he knows what to do financially, you're never gonna go out of business. So if you say that, yeah, pretty much you are a fool, sir. Ain't no way in the world WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, got the world on a string, got more views, more followers, and they got a loyal fan base that's never gonna change hands on them. Come on, man. How they gonna go out of business? Nah. You thinking that that probably deter your finances. Ain't nobody, they not going out of business. Pretty much, like I said, WWE is a big company, $1 billion company. They're not going out of business. Stock market going through the roof. They ain't never going out of business. I might invest in them. I should. Please invest in WWE. They're not going out of business. But anyway, like I said, this was the greatest wrestling weekend in a long time. And so Sunday laid host to what was another great pay-per-view, and it's called TakeOver 36. Yeah. So TakeOver 36 was at the CWC in Orlando, Florida. So that pay-per-view was so great. And here's why. Here's the thing. NXT, even though NXT is going through changes, yeah, man, NXT is going through some changes, but they are still going strong. Now people was like, okay, why? Why were people talking about NXT when they didn't have a crowd? I was like, was people not used to watching? This ain't like back in the 90s when you had Heat. You remember when they The Rock and Mankind had that match? I think it was like during halftime Heat. Yeah, it was halftime Heat, and this is like 99, like 1999. It was fighting for the WWE Championship in an empty arena. It was an empty arena match. And I was like, how is it to watch? Like, what is it like to just watch a match or whole program with no fans? You know what I'm saying? Wow, that was kind of weird when they didn't have any fans. It was like in I want to say they were I think were they at Full Sail? They were at Full Sail University, I think, at the time. But then they had moved into the CWC. So, and then you had a revitalized venue. So, man, here's the thing. Here's the thing. My thing is, TakeOver 36 was great. You had the match Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe versus, yes, it was Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship. Now, Samoa Joe won the championship, and he is the first ever 3-time NXT champion. I'm happy for him because I'm like, he went from doing commentary on the main roster to being released, and then he came back to be like a muscle on NXT. And I'm like, wow, like why did they release Joe like that? I was kind of like baffled. I'm like, dang, why they released this man? But then he came back because there was chaos ensuing on NXT. And I'm like, who's gonna stop, all the chaos on NXT? He came back, man, things changed drastically. And lo and behold, we fast forward to TakeOver 36, and we have a championship match between Karrion Kross and Samoa Joe. I'm like, that's cool to have that. That's cool to have that. I feel like Joe, he wanted to come back because he loves wrestling himself. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to come back to NXT because that's like in WWE, that is the brand that made him. Is before he went on, you got drafted to Raw. He went on to be United States champion, you know what I'm saying? And I think that was it. So anyway, he came back to win the NXT championship. Now, I thought he wasn't really cleared to come wrestle like that. But, now we have him, if you watched NXT a couple days ago, now we have him, figuring out, who's his next challenger, fighting off the likes of LA Knight. You got Kyle O'Reilly. You know what I'm saying? You got people like that want to face the man next. You got people, that want to face him. They trying to figure out who, they probably could have a number one contending match, to see who's going to be his next challenger. So, that was a good match. We also have, on the pre-show, we had Ridge Holland versus Trey Baxter. Ridge Holland is from, I want to say England. He defeated Trey Baxter via pinfall, and he called out Timothy Thatcher promising to berate him on NXT. Now, when I see Ridge Holland, I see an upcoming star. I see an upcoming, champion, upcoming North American champion or either tag team champion, what have you. An upcoming NXT champion if done right, if booked right. He could be that next champ. He could be a big star to have. His next feud looks like it's going to be with Timothy Thatcher. We're going to see what happens. Next is for the $1 million championship. This is one of the most legendary titles come out of WWE. First held lineage in the 80s when Ted DiBiase was champ. So fasting forward now, we have LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes. Man, that match was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It got a A-. I'm not gonna lie. The match is pretty good. So we see it. When we see it, man, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. And I'm like, well, shoot, man, they got the $1 million championship on NXT. I was like, that championship is very legendary. And that championship is all gold with diamonds and nothing else. It doesn't have a leather strap on it. It's all gold with diamonds. That's what it is, man. So we have LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes. Now Cameron Grimes defeated LA Knight to win the $1 million championship. Wasn't he happy? Also, we have two former best friends. And Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. So this one is for the NXT Women's Championship. So I feel like here's the thing. I feel like this was like one of those matches was like, okay, they know each other best. You know what I'm saying? They have animosity. It's bedlam, it's heat against the two. There is pretty much a it's pretty much a build up. Here's the thing. Look at this. Raquel Gonzalez ended up defeating Dakota Kai to retain the women's championship, the NXT Women's Championship. I thought Dakota Kai was going to actually win her first NXT Women's Championship, but it wasn't like that. It didn't play out like that. Raquel Gonzalez said, not today. Maybe another day. And this was the match I was really most excited about. When I tell you I was excited, I jumped up pretty much watching NXT TakeOver 36. So the NXT UK Championship, Walter, congratulations to him. He held that championship for damn near 3 years. 870 days, people. You can count. You can ask Siri, or you can count on your hand, or not on your hand, but you can kind of configure how many years that is. 365 plus 365. You know what I'm saying? That's like 6 something or 7. But man, Walter versus, if I say his name wrong, is it Ilja Dragunov? So that's kind of like I don't know where he's from. I know Walter is from Austria, which that's different though. UK, but that's in the UK. So Walter was a champion for 870 days. That nobody has ever, bro. In today's wrestling, anybody holding no championship for 3 years almost damn near 3 years. He held damn championship. I'm sitting up here like, whoa. How did he do it? You know what I'm saying? The last man to hold even remotely a championship like that. And this was like, let me see. I know Andre the Giant was undefeated for 15 years. Bruno Sammartino, Stan Stasiak, I know you can hold championships for like a year, but 3? Come on, man. I can't even count on hand how many days that is. 870? Wow. But Dragunov defeated he defeated Walter. And he had been trying to defeat Walter for a long time. A long time. Since like last year. He had been trying to defeat this man for a long time. So for him finally to win, to defeat Walter and win the NXT UK championship for the first time was great. It was so great. And defeating somebody who had such a long reign like that, it makes you an even bigger, star. It makes you even bigger babyface. And it's like a fairy tale story. You know what I'm saying? Like David and Goliath type of story. You know what I'm saying? Because, Walter's big, bad Austrian dude. And Dragunov, he's smaller than him. So like to do that, that's pretty big. You know what I'm saying? Dragunov outlasted him. He won by submission to win the NXT UK championship. Now, this match was like, this was like a former, tag team, like former best friends type of match. Animosity as well. So this is the Undisputed finale, pitting Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, baby. Anyway, so pretty much, here's the thing. That match was something else. It had a lot of it had a lot of storytelling in it. I liked it. The storytelling in this match was so great. It was a best 2 out of 3 falls match. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match. Now they both got one fall over each other. All they needed was another fall to win the match, either O'Reilly or Cole. Now, O'Reilly bested Adam Cole. Kyle O'Reilly beat Adam Cole in that match, and it told a story like, yeah, I'm through with you. I'm done. This was the final nail in the coffin. Goodbye. Type of feel to it. It had a type of feel to it that where, Kyle O'Reilly, he was saying goodbye to a lot of things. He was saying goodbye to an Undisputed Era. He was saying goodbye to Adam Cole. He was saying goodbye to a former friendship. He was saying goodbye to a foe. That match told a story of so many things, and that's crazy. So we're gonna see what happens next, what they do with it. And yes, I talked about the NXT Championship match, and that pretty much ends it. Man, let me tell you, NXT TakeOver 36 made this like it put the icing on the cake on the best wrestling weekend in a long time. It put the icing on the cake. Now we had Raw, we had this past NXT, we had AEW Dynamite. I don't know. I'm not sure if anything was on yesterday, but tonight we have SmackDown. We're going to see, this is Friday, we have SmackDown. We're going to see who does what. We're going to see if Brock Lesnar returns to SmackDown. We're going to see Roman Reigns ahead of the table, the Tribal Chief, Universal Heavyweight Champion. We're going to see so many other things. We're going to see Becky Lynch. We're going to see Bianca Belair. Hopefully we'll see Sasha Banks actually return. And I'm like, okay, let's go. You wasn't there at SummerSlam, so let's go be there at SmackDown. Let's do it. So as I close, I'm gonna see what happens in wrestling this week. And this was Dropkick Chronicles. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe right here on Dropkick Chronicles.